All right. Yeah, I appreciate you making sure you did. All right. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me for Pilates All Levels. My name is Audra, and today we're going to use a ball and a TheraBand. If you're at home and you don't have a ball, you can absolutely fold a pillow a couple times. And if you don't have a TheraBand, it's okay. You can either use a mini band for some of it, or just find the positioning with your arms, and you don't have to necessarily add the extra resistance. As always, if something doesn't feel right for your body, don't do it. Opt out, modify. That's it. Let's get started. We're actually going to begin on our back, knees bent, feet flat, and let's bring the ball in between our knees. And just so you guys know, even though I'm facing this way, I'm still watching you in the mirror. Yeah. So we're just gonna kind of find our center. You're welcome to take your knees from side to side a little bit and just kind of let your spine sink and melt. Bring one hand to your sternum and one hand to your ribs, bottom ribs, and we're gonna breathe. So big inhale in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And just start to notice where your breath goes. So when we have to breathe deeply or quickly, like we are running, or having to sprint, like swim really fast, or even sometimes have an adrenaline rush, our secondary respiration muscles kick on. And that's not a bad thing. However, lying here in a relaxed position, we should be able to breathe without them kicking on. So if your hand that's on your sternum is doing a lot of the work, see if you can allow it to relax. Send your diaphragm and pelvic floor low on your inhale, and then exhale, bring your ribs together, lift your pelvic floor on your exhale. Two more like this. Last one. And we're going to bring our hands to our sides. So I personally like to have my fingertips around my ribs, but if you prefer your thumbs, that's fine too. And as you inhale, inhale into the backs and sides of your ribs. And then exhale, let the ribs drag away from your hands. Now, if you notice one side inflating a lot more than the other, that's normal, but I'd like you to try to allow the other side to inflate a little bit more. Just 2 more breaths. One more like this. And come back to center. Go ahead, make sure your toes are pointing forward. We're going to think about lifting the arch of our foot without just rolling out to the blades of your feet. So lift the arch, squeeze the ball, find that deep abdominal connection, and exhale. That's it. Hopefully you feel your muscles kicking on, right? Then inhale, diaphragm lowers, transverse abdominis expands, pelvic floor lowers eccentrically. Exhale, arches, inner thigh, lift, and tighten. Good. 2 more. And then we get to move. So if we take that second to connect with our abs before we move, we'll find deeper work. All right. Now go ahead, interlace your hands behind your head. Spiral your elbows forward, shoulder blades draw down. Head is heavy in your hands. On your exhale, find that connection and then curl your collarbones forward. So exhale and start your curl. Then hold for a second, slowly lower. You can also think about your armpits helping you get up there. Exhale, gentle connection, curl and hold, and come back down. Last one like this. Find the connection before you move, hold. Bring your hands forward, push them into an imaginary surface, see if you can get a little bit higher, and then bring your hands back behind your head and hold. Now, as we're here, try to send your breath low to help create buoyancy here, as opposed to up, which can cause you to kind of lower. And all we're gonna do is float one shoulder blade off the ground a millimeter, come back to center, other side. It's not a huge rotation. We're just starting a tiny bit of movement with breath, keeping both hips still and stable. Everybody feel their abs start to kick on, even though all we're doing is floating one shoulder blade up a tiny bit? Yeah. Good. Making sure we're moving from our torso instead of our neck, right? So the head is heavy, the ribs sink down to help the collarbones lift. Now we float one side up, bring that hand across your body, exhale, saw, other hand, good, and lift. Good, same arm, just a little lift, just a little lift. 3, 2, good, other side. So start with the tiny little hover, hand, curl. So think about deepening your rotation here, as opposed to letting yourself side bend. 3, 2, last one, come back to center. Take your hand that is across your body, bring it to your side. We're gonna curl forward. Notice how that hand moves. Now on your exhale, rotate your opposite armpit so you can look at your hand. Hand doesn't move. Come back to center. Exhale, curl and look. Now, if you need to come down in between, that's okay. Just make sure you curl first and then rotate. 2, curl, then rotate. Yeah, curl first, then rotate. Yeah, do you notice how your hand doesn't move as much on the rotation then? Yeah, good. And then other side. Anybody not finding their obliques a little bit? Great, okay. Let's try lift and a little rotation, one back. And exhale, rotate, and back. Once again, if you need to, bring your head down, curl forward, and then rotate. Good. We have 4. Keeping that opposite hip heavy. 2 more. Last one. Come all the way down. Nice job. We're going to take our prop and slide it underneath our hips. So I want it underneath your sacrum, that triangular bone in between your cheeks. If it's up on your low back, it might be a little high. If it feels like it's about to shoot across the room, it might be a little low. Let your ribs sink and soften so you're in a nice relaxed position. When we do this, our sits bones are reaching away from us like car headlights. They're not necessarily pointing down. On your exhale, think about the fronts of your abs drawing down, and then maybe put 5% pressure in the ball like you want to pop it. And then relax. If your spine changed shapes, whether it was a deepening of a crunch or a big arch, see if you can keep it a little bit smaller, right? It's the fronts of your abs sink down and then you press down a little bit to try to find that deep abdominal connection. Did everybody find it? You can give me a thumbs up if you need to. Yeah. Did anybody not find it? Okay, So let your spine imprint a little bit more. So sink everything down towards the ground a little bit more. On your exhale, draw your belly button down more, and then try to pop the ball. Yep, do you find it? A little bit? Good. 2 more. It's subtle. But now we're going to hold that, float one leg to tabletop. Reach that knee away from you, step that foot down, toe ball heel, float the other leg to tabletop. Exhale, reach that foot away, toe ball heel. So now your hamstrings should also be kicking on as we step down with intention, pushing into the floor, right? A lot of times we step our foot down, but we ignore the fact that we can actually push into the ground to make our muscles connect a little bit more. Good. Now, if this is where you are, fantastic. If you'd like, you can bring both of your legs to tabletop, still push the foot down into the ground, but then you can float your legs past each other. Trying to get that little hamstring connection to help our hip flexors not talk as loud, and to get a little assistance from the hamstrings, right? So really think about toe ball heel. You're pushing your whole foot into the ground. Whole foot, including the heel. Really almost try to like lift yourself off the ball with your hamstring, but keep yourself still with your abs. So you're finding internal resistance. Go ahead, bring both legs to tabletop. We're going to use the heel of our hand here. Push into your thighs from your armpit muscles. Push into your hands from your thighs. Everybody feel their abs a little bit? Great. Now, hold that for 4, 3. Keep pressing. 2, 1. Let one foot push away from you. It reaches across the room. It folds in. Push both into your hands. Exhale, other foot goes away. Still pushing into that stable hand. Now, if at any point you need to come off of the ball, that's okay. The ball is just offering a slightly different position and a slightly unstable surface. So our body has to kind of make micro adjustments. Few more. And lengthening through the front of the thigh. 2. Last one, each side. Bring both legs in. Hands can come to the ground. If you tend to internally rotate your shoulder, you can always have your palms up or facing each other. Connect your thighs to your ribs, push your feet away a couple inches, hold. And then push them away a couple more inches and hold. And then a couple more inches and hold. We're trying to go into hip extension before knee extension, and then fold in. So a lot of times we tend to go to a straight leg position. And a lot of times if we don't feel like we have the core stability, we'll cut that range, which isn't inherently bad. But that means our quads are doing a lot of the work. So what we're doing currently is keeping our knees kind of bent, keeping our feet kind of low, sneaking them away a couple inches at a time to challenge that core stability, trying not to let your pelvis shift on the ball, right? Couple more. If you go into a position where all of a sudden you're like, now I feel my back working, don't go quite that far again, right? Keep it a little bit tempered. 2. Last one. Go ahead, bring one foot at a time down. You can bring your hands to your hip bones. And with just ease of motion through your spine, you're going to imprint, pull your hip bones towards your face. Having the ball underneath your sacrum should make it even easier to find that position, right? You might feel a big stretch on your quads if they're tight, and then you can come back to your neutral. Let's do that again. Gentle imprint. And back. Last one. Hold your imprint here. Press into your feet, especially your big toe mound. Bring yourself up as if you're trying to hover off the ball. Take the ball out from behind you, set it down, and just stay at the top of your bridge for a second, checking in. Your weight should be shoulder blades, right? So if your weight is on your neck or you're lifting from your armpits, sink your sternum away from your face. Make sure you're in a gentle imprint. You're lifting from your underbutt, not your back. On your exhale, melt through your throat, melt through your sternum, melt through your rib cage. We're rolling down. And then on the way up, see if you can try to peel your spine up as if you were peeling a sticker off the wall. And just melt and roll. Couple more. Pressing into your big toe mound more than just your heels. Heels still need to stay connected, but we're trying to find that whole chain, right? Your whole back line. So we're trying to find your soleus. We're trying to find your hamstrings, your glutes. Two more. Letting your spine just melt and roll. Last one. And roll all the way down. Now, slide 1 foot away from you. Imprint your spine here and then back to neutral. Right? So you might notice that on the side where the leg is extended, it could be harder to imprint. If that is the case, don't fight it, don't force it, but think about lengthening through the front of the thigh. Now interlace your hands behind your head, come into your chest lift if it's appropriate. And same thing, we imprint and then come back to neutral, right? So it's a tiny movement, we're not doing much. We're just shortening the distance between our hips and our ribs and back to center. I don't know about you, but I feel that like crazy. Yeah, I immediately start trembling. Two more. If you have really, really flexible, nimble hip flexors, maybe it's not going to be as hard for you, right? Last one like this. We get to switch sides. So head down, switch legs. Each side's going to feel different. That's okay. Just little imprint and back to neutral. Little imprint, back to neutral. See how this side feels in comparison. And then you can come into your chest lift. We have 4, 3. Trying to curl forward from your collarbones and armpits by sinking your ribs down as opposed to pulling your neck forward. 2. Last one. Come back to neutral. You are welcome to bring both legs to tabletop. We're going to take our opposite hand, place it into our thigh. Think about pinky finger to armpit connection. So you're trying to pull the knee across with your armpit. You're trying to push the hand out to the side with your glute. Push the other leg away. Good. Bring it back, switch hands. We're not even rotating yet. We're just finding that connection, right? Lat, serratus, oblique. And you can imagine pushing your feet into a wall or pushing a couch away from you to try to find a little texture through the movement. If for any reason this doesn't feel right today, that's okay. You can always step 1 foot down. No problem. Now we're going to add rotation and then press. Rotation and then press. And if you are extending your leg, that's great. Few more. Three. If you need to, you can always drag your foot on the ground if your hip flexors like to do more work. 2. Last one. How's everybody feeling? So good? Yeah. I'd come back to center. If you need to put your head down, it's fine. If your head is down, we're going to tap the toes and then float them back up. Okay? This is option 1. Everybody try it. If you are curled forward, you can either tap your toes down or you can push them away from you and then fold them in. Imagine that I'm standing next to you with my hands against your feet, and you're going to push me away, and then as your knees bend, I'm pushing you, right? Now, keep them kind of low. Hey, Andrea, keep it a little bit lower, and then just don't straighten your legs. So curl forward. Yeah, and then keep your heels a little lower. Yeah, there you go. Got more challenge? Yeah. 2 more. Last one. And you can slowly let your legs come down, head come down, arms come overhead. Now we have to use our breath here. So bring your arms back to the sky. Big inhale, big exhale as we roll up. Next, that one didn't count. Next one counts. So let's first grab our band. So one of the great things about the band is it can offer a little bit of assistance or resistance, right? So go ahead, bring your hands pretty tight up. And if you notice, I've wrapped my hands just because I don't want to have to grip really hard. So feel free to bend your knees if you need to. We curl back. And then on the way up, big inhale. Big exhale, you can even bend your elbows if you need to. Yeah, yeah. So you both did just beautiful teasers, right? So yeah, good. So feel free to bend your knees a little. Yeah, yeah. And then curl up. Now, if you need a pad, Nancy, hold up your pad. A little gardening pad underneath the low back can be really, really helpful. Also one of those like washcloths you can like use. Yeah. Good. Just in case, maybe the floor is just a little far away to your back, right? Instead of fighting it, bring the floor to you, no problem. Curl, yeah. If it's still a little tricky, you can also bring your legs up and use, yeah, your arms to help you, right? You can also think of your bridge here, right? It's the same kind of concept. We're just trying to relax the spine to get it to move in segmentally, right? Last one like this. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, better. Yeah. All right. Now you can keep your legs extended or you can bend your knees. It's up to you. If you need a little support, you can always bring the ball behind you. I'm going to show both. We're just going to curl back until you make contact with the prop if you're using it. We're not relying on it. It's just there for moral support. Exhale, widen through your collarbones, bend your elbows down, and then back a little bit. Yeah, slowly come forward. Bend the elbows down and then back. So if we're just thinking about back, right, that can come into this anterior translation. And we want to find our rhomboids, our mid traps, our lower traps. Good. Now, if you're like, this is really hard for me, bend your knees. No problem. You can even bring the band through if you don't want to extend your legs fully. We have 3, 2. We're going to maintain this position. So if you are like, I need a prop, do it. So now our arms are forward. Bend one elbow down and back. On your exhale, rotate towards that arm. Yeah. Other side. Bring it down first. And then when we rotate, be aware if your body is trying to arch. It's in 2 movements. We're not moving as one. It's down first. Hold. Everybody hold. One arm, yeah, hold, no rotation. Counter rotation here. Now, think about that shoulder blade dragging back, fold over your ribs. We are not arching. And then back. Yeah. Bend the elbow, hold. Counter rotation. Bend your elbow more. Hand up towards your face. Hand, just your hand. Yeah, there you go. And then exhale, fold over your ribs so we're not arching. If you're arching, you're getting your erectors to do the work. And we're trying to find obliques. Yeah, yeah, good. Couple more. How are these feeling, everybody? So good? Yeah. Last one, like this. Now we get to pull both of them back and hold. Bring one arm forward. Oh, it just makes rotation happen. Yeah. Bring that arm back, hold. Hold it, hold it. One arm, yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Bring it back and hold. Hold, hold one arm. Bring it back and hold. Anybody not feeling their abs yet? That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. We're almost there. If you need a break, take a break, right? 2 more. Last one. And come back to center. Relax over the legs. Restack. Now we are going to use the prop or the ball again. Bend your knees, feet flat. Let's bring it behind us. We're going to get a little bit of upper back extension here. Hands supporting your head. First, just relax. And notice where your body wants to move from. So, if you have a part that's restricted, typically other parts are going to try to help, right? Most people tend to really be able to extend through their lumbar, so their thoracic is a little bit less likely to extend. However, I have scoliosis in my lumbar spine, so it likes to not move. So my thoracic tries to do all the work, right? So just be aware of what's moving in your spine without judgment. And then invite the rest of it to join the party. That's it. Now inhale, exhale, sink your ribs down, curl forward, and hold. Yes. It's like you're trying to push the ball away. Yeah. Now, feel how your abs are engaged. Yeah. Keep them engaged as you slowly, 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 slowly lower. And then at the end, you can relax. And just see if you invited the other parts of your spine to the party. On your exhale, sink the ribs down, belly button in, curl forward, pushing the ball away. And then keep those abs engaged as we slowly lower. Trying to get everything to move. Now, if this is where you are, fantastic. This is work, right? If you're like, that's not enough work for me, okay, we can always add on. You'll extend your legs. And as you curl forward, bring one knee towards your chest. Hold. No rotation. Yeah. Slowly extend away. And then exhale. Curl other side. Yeah. Good. Now, if you want, you can always try to get your elbow and knee to press into each other. Same side. Yeah. And then extend. Good. if you press them together, see if you can find that armpit to oblique connection, yeah? Couple more. How's everybody feeling? Great, amazing, phenomenal, good. Almost there. Last one, each side. Nice. And extend and just relax for 1 second before we get to come up. Now bring your arms up, push into the bowl, little zombie arms happening, good. And we're gonna come onto knees. Now, if being on your knees doesn't feel great, you can always sit crisscross applesauce instead. Now, as we do this, our deltoid, so our shoulder, where our shoulder and our arm connect, so I want you to feel the work. If you are feeling this in your neck, get rid of the band, okay? So a lot of times when we do any sort of sideways or like, deltoid lift, our upper trap is like, I'm helping, right? So that initial part, this stays really soft, almost melting down. So our shoulder can do the work as opposed to our neck. Deal? Good, glad we're all in this together. Okay, so go ahead, grab your band. And if you're sitting on your honkles, no problem. If you're up on your knees, squeezing your glutes, also no problem. Go ahead, take the opposite hand, wrap it a couple times. Nice little 90-degree angle. Shoulder blade kind of melts on your back, up trap melts, sinks down, we hold. So this is doing the work, yeah? Good. And bring it down. Let's try it again. Hold. Good. Bring your shoulder down just a little. Yeah, and then keep it down slightly, but you can lift your elbow a little bit more if you want. Yeah, you feel more out here? Good. Good. Couple more. Hold there. No, hold. Relax your shoulder only. Yes. Do you feel the difference? Good. 2. Yeah. Now, Andrea, on the next one, you're going to want to keep your hand in line with your elbow. Just bring the hand down as opposed to the elbow up. Hold this last one. Yeah. Now, even though our deltoid is doing the work, we're now going to add rotator cuff. Everybody excited? So think about your shoulder blade tipping backwards as you just rotate through your upper arm bone. Yeah, yes. And then bring it down. So if it's like getting real intense, just take some of the. Yeah. So yes, the hand is moving, the elbow is going to point forward because the upper arm bone is rotating, okay? So think about that rotating, yeah. And the shoulder blade goes, boop. Now, if your ribs go, I'm helping, and you feel this in your back, find it, sink your ribs down, see if you can then feel it in your shoulder. And then the next time, keep the ribs down. Yeah, how's everyone doing? So good, yeah. I know it's a lot of work. 2. Last one. Good, now, all we're gonna do, slide that band out a little bit, clamp the other knee on it, come up, bring the elbow in. Bend forward slightly, press back so you can feel your tricep. Now, if you're like, I don't feel my tricep, go up on the band. Yeah, hold it back. Yeah, just squeeze the back arm. Everybody feel the back of your arm? Okay, Nancy, feel how you're here? Bring it here, yeah. And then palm faces you. Yeah, then just bend the elbow, squeeze, hold. Hold, hold. Now, I'll show you. I'm not really moving my upper arm bone here. I'm just straightening my elbow and squeezing back here. If I'm moving my upper arm bone, it's going to be a lot more pec minor and upper trap. So keep the collarbone wide. You just imagine somebody coming up behind you and being like, hey, I'm going to take your picture. You just want to pop that muscle for it. Oh, hey, what's up? Right? The same thing. So I would say your shoulder is just back a little bit. Let it come forward. Nope, your left one, yeah. Bend your elbow first, yeah. And then you might just need more tension. Keep this still, just straighten the arm, yeah. Without moving the shoulder. Yeah, so imagine you've got something you wanna hug, so, and just, yeah, keep the hug, yeah. Then press, there you go. Do you feel the back of the arm doing the work now? Yeah. Last one, good, and we hold, hold, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and other side. How'd this feel? Great. Yeah. Now keep in mind, we don't want to overuse our upper trap, right? So we're going to use the deltoid. You can be up or down. So once again, think about this like meatier muscle here. That's going to be helping us. This is going to be relaxing. So on your exhale, let the neck relax. Let the shoulder melt. We're not forcing it down. We're just allowing it not to lift. And then it comes back. Yeah. Yeah. Give me a couple more. Jasmine, better. Did you feel how that one kind of sank? Yeah. Good. Good. Andrea, I think you need more tension. More tension on the band. Yeah. So you can get that little bit of like texture all the way through. Do you feel the difference there? Yeah. Good. Good, Vishali. Yeah. Let this relax just a little bit more. Yeah. Nice. Do you feel more here? Yeah. 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 Take a second. You can even, yeah. Your right arm. Yeah. Yeah. Take your right arm. Yeah. And just relax for a second. Yeah. And then if you look down, that should also help that trap stretch a little. Yeah. Good. Good. Last one. Now we get to add the rotator cuff, right? So all we're doing, that shoulder blade is tipping. We are spiraling our upper arm bone. That's it. Elbow's going to slightly point forward. Yeah. And then slowly let it come back. Now, if I think of moving my hand back, I'm going to get there however I need to, right? Whether I'm retracting, whether I'm using my wrist. If I think of my arm bone rotating, I'm less likely to get the range from wherever I can. So Jasmine, when you bring your hand back, think about your elbow pointing to me just a tiny bit more. Yeah, good. So it's more rotation, less retraction. Do you feel the difference? Yeah, good. Couple more. Good. Oh, and this is also very telling, right? Maybe one of your shoulders, you're like, oh yeah, so easy. And the other one is like, right? Or maybe one of your shoulders has more range than the other. That's okay, it's just information. 2. Whew. Last one. This is my exciting side, if you can't tell. We're gonna come up. Go ahead, get a little bit more resistance. Bend the elbow like you're hugging something in, pitch forward. And then only straighten the elbow, press the knuckles back. Yeah, good. And then bend. If you're like, well, I don't get enough resistance immediately, you can always get closer to your hand. You can always have your hand facing your hips. Yeah, then keep it facing there. Moving just the elbow, not the shoulder. Yeah, just straighten your elbow. Clamp your arm. Straighten your elbow. Yeah, there. Boom. Yeah, reach. Gorgeous. Good. Now, if you feel your shoulder elevating, just remind it, hey, you don't have to be there, right? So a lot of times, because of the fact that our tricep, one of the heads does attach about like at the shoulder, sometimes we try to elevate to get the work. We're just going to widen, everything stays still, squeeze at the elbow. 2 more. Last one. Nice job. Go ahead. Let both of your hands grab your band. Yeah, and go ahead. Bring it up. Now, you might feel like, oh, I really need a whole lot of resistance. We can, first one never counts, right? So we're just going to do a little bicep curl. And then exhale, press overhead to the best of your ability. You might need a little less, yeah. And then bring it down, yeah. Now imagine your core here, or at least think about what's working, right? So we're using our breath, we're engaging our glutes. And do you feel how your abs have to be part of the force transfer from upper to lower body, right? That's actually one of the main things they're designed for. Spinal stability, force transmission. Good. Two more. If it doesn't feel good to go straight all the way overhead, go to where you can. Yeah. Last one. Good. Slowly come down. Now go ahead. We're going to ditch the band. I did have a plan. We're not going to do it. It's going to be easier this way. We're going to bring our hands to the floor or to your mat. We're going to get a little bit of rotation. So one hand is going to sneak underneath your armpit. Bend that elbow, let your upper back rotate. And then you can press into the floor, rotate back. Good. Now try, if you can help it, not to let yourself go into an excessive amount of extension, especially through your thoracic spine, right? So we're just trying to rotate a little bit, folding over our ribs, rounding our back a little, right? Last one. And then other side. Use your breath here. Couple more. And two. Last one. And come back to center. Now bring your hands slightly closer together than you think they need to be. Push the floor away to lift your spine towards the sky. On your exhale, just float one hand up, little kitty cat paw. And then bring it down, push into the ground, other side. Good, keep that push, keep the push. Now, if you would like more challenge, spread your hands and knees. And then you can extend opposite arm and leg. Now it is more challenge because everything is wide, but bring your knees a little closer in. Yeah. So try not to let your body sink here. You're going to push up, make the connection, push into the ground, keep your ribs elevated. If you need to, keep a finger on the ground. Yeah. Good. So Jasmine, do you feel how that side was a little bit more stable? Push into the ground a little bit more. Yeah. And then instead of lifting, think about pushing away, keep it a little lower. Yes. Good. Yeah. Yeah. So right there, instead of reaching, yeah, there you go. Think about that opposing hand. The one digging into the ground is offering you moral and structural support. Good, good. Now, stick with this or come into your plank 1 foot at a time. And then you can bend one knee, reach it back, other side. Good. Or if you're in between, bring the knee down and then back. Yeah. Good. A few more. 2. Last one. Knees down. Press yourselves into that rest position. Bring your hands up and over to one side, pressing your hips away. Good. And then other side. Now we're going to do a tiny bit of side lying, and then we're going to do some of our side lying standing. You can always, always, always come all the way down onto your side and use the prop as a pillow, unwinding your hip, extending your leg. If you're like, I want more shoulder work, you can come up into a side plank, but instead of the slumber party shoulder, we're going to be pushing the floor away, lifting the rib. Good. So let the knee come in towards your face, push it away from you, finding that side glute, right? Then fold it in. Now, Jasmine, I want you to lift, yes. And then if when you extend your leg out, this wants to sink, keep the foot down some. Yeah, good. Vishali, that's really close. Lift your bottom rib just a little bit more. Yeah, good. Nancy, push your foot away to lengthen through your top. Yes, keep that. Good. Good. Andrea, push your foot away even more from you. Yeah, instead of forward, bring it back a little, and then just push it towards me more. Yeah, there you go. 2. Last one, hold it. Now let the foot dangle. You're just gonna lift a little, lower a little. Now if your back moves or your shoulder moves, don't lift as high, right? We're not trying to let the QL do the work. We're not trying to let the obliques, we're trying to find work in the glute. Yeah. If the foot sneaks forward, bring it back a little so it can be directed to the glute as opposed to the front pocket of the hip. 2. Last one, tiny circles. Good, drag it. Doing okay? I know, it's a lot, right? And all we're doing is a tiny circle. Shelly, bring your foot back in space just a tiny bit. Yeah, keep it back there. You feel more glute. And reverse. Good. 3, 2, 1. Now we get to do the other side. It's going to be exciting. Find your position. Okay. Once again, you can either be down or up, but you're going to press and lift. Good. Now extend the leg out, float it back in. Good. Good. So Jasmine, top hip bone is going to point a little bit more towards Vishali. Yeah. And then on this side, it's okay. This is your shortened side, right? It's okay to let it lengthen a little. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. Nice. Good job keeping that side long, Nancy. Good. Good. Andrea, heel back just a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Good. 3. Good. Anybody not feeling that glute a little? I'll take that as a yes, I'm feeling that glute. 2. Last one, hold it out, let that foot dangle. Try not to let the spine move. We're just going to lift and lower a teeny bit. Roll your top hip bone forward. Yep. Let your foot relax. Yeah. Is that more glute somehow? Yeah. 3, 2, and then we get to do teeny tiny little circles. Imagine dragging that foot back through space. Yeah, you're all amazing. You should all be very proud of how you're doing. Other side. 2, and 1. We get to come to a standing position. So however you need to is great, but if you can come through like a little downward dog so you get a little hamstring stretch, that's great. You can dangle. We're gonna roll all the way up. Now, before we do crazy balance stuff, we're just gonna check in. So bring your feet together. and just feel the floor. Feel your body's response to breath and gravity. Notice that there's probably going to be a slight, subtle sway, like if your feet are totally together, feet totally together. Yeah. Can you bring, yeah, just to see, right? See if there's a little sway from side to side, right? That's normal. That's fine. It's when we have to have a huge sway in order to find our center that it becomes a little bit different. Now, close your eyes. If you feel secure here, keep them closed. If you don't, you can always open them. And just kind of outline your body in space with your mind. From your head, including your ears, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your biceps, your elbows, your forearms, your hands, your chest, your ribs, your back and waist, hips, thighs, calves and feet. Just feel or see in your mind's eye where they are in space. Once you have that kind of outline of yourself, see if you can keep your eyes closed and peel one foot up. And see how balanced you feel. If you need to open your eyes, open your eyes. When your ankle moves back and forth, that's called noise. And that is the proprioceptors in your joint trying to find where you are in space, right? So that's normal, don't fight it. And then you can do the other side. Set the foot down. If you need a little bit of extra stimulus to feel safe in space, you can like do spirit fingers, jazz hands, yeah, whatever kind of like fancy hands you need to do is fine. And then bring, switch feet. So open your eyes, switch feet. We're gonna brush that leg out to the side and bring it in. Good. So try to find that glute here. We're still just brushing the knee out in a way and feel how your body has to respond, right? If you tend to lean or your hip hikes, see if you can find that structural stability through that standing leg. And just move the leg a little bit in space, right? Good. 2, yeah. Last 1, other side, you're all amazing. So push into the ground, right? Big toe mound, little toe mound, heel, find your arch. Glute 2, and then brush. Now, everybody's body is gonna feel different, right? If I lift here, right, I'm not feeling my glute as much. My synergist muscles are kicking on. But also notice what your body has to do to stay basically still, right? It's kind of a complicated transaction, right? Because our instinct is to like just lean, but we're trying to find intra-abdominal stability, glute, arch of your foot, right? 2, last 1, nice job. Bring your feet together, nod your chin, hollow out on the way down. Let your back relax. Let your pelvis start to roll and find your relaxed position over your legs. And feel relaxed from your head all the way down your spine. You can kind of shift your hips from side to side a little. You can bend one knee at a time, let yourself get a tiny bit of rotation. And then just gently nod your head yes. And then gently shake your head no. And then gently nod your head yes. Are you gonna have a great rest of your day? Awesome. And then let your arms and head dangle as you roll all the way up, lengthening through the crown of your head. Flip your palms to the sky, open through your collarbones. Have a great rest of your day. You guys give yourselves a round of applause. Nice work today. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, thank you.